This episode is brought to you by Cruising Bears, a global travel community built on giving bears, chubs, and chasers the ultimate vacation escape. Visit bigfatgaycruise.com for details. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Big Fat Gay Podcast. This is Michael, and we wanted to take you guys back in time once again to episode 187, which has a special place in my heart because it is when we got to talk to writer-director Corey Sherman about his movie Big Boys, which we had been hyping for like a year leading up to that episode. We were so excited to get to talk to him. The movie follows a 14-year-old gay fat kid who is going through a coming-of-age experience, and it is incredibly tender and honest and vulnerable and very real, as you'll hear us talk about, like just exactly how deep some of those moments can cut. But it is just an incredible watch. We just wanted everyone to know about that movie. And it's, made by somebody in our own community, but it is also an incredible piece of art and a really good watch. And so when you get both of those things at the same time, it's just really special and worth revisiting in this case. And so while we take our hiatus, we wanted to bring you back in time to episode 187, where we talk to Corey Sherman. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome to the Big Fat Gay Podcast, where we talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. My name is Michael Willer. I'm a chubby chaser, and today I am a super excited interviewer, boy, because we are going to have a special guest on the episode later today, one Corey Sherman, joining us after we get through Fat Watch.
To talk about the movie Big Boys. Hi, my name is Don. I'm a big chubby guy living here in sunny Hollywood, and today I am also jazzed for our upcoming interview. That's all.
Yay!
I'm just here and happy.
Hi, I'm Daniel Laverio, author, public speaker, and chubby chaser. And yes, I am all geared up for our interview with fabulous writer-director. And I would just like to say, I like the day.
Good. It's a good day.
Yeah,
it's a good day.
Solid.
It's a good day.
I'm Trevor Keyson. I'm a super chub. I'm also excited. I'm a big boy ready to discuss Big Boys. And I don't know, maybe listen, if you're like, well, I want to see Big Boys, you can pause right now and rent it and then come back.
Yes, well worth it.
Are you okay? Well, wait. Wasn't that great? Are you excited for the episode?
We loved it too.
Now you're ready.
Thank you as always to our patrons.
Yeah.
Thank you,
and
patrons.
Our listeners. We have a new mini-sode where Michael and I are discussing Dave the Diver.
Yes.
And the fat representation within it.
It was very fun.
Yes. Also, thank you to Bigger Bash.
Yes.
September
6th to the 8th.
Yes.
First weekend in September. In Vegas at the Palms. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're
Where
going to
you'll
be
be
there.
able to see us live.
You'll be able to see us live doing something.
Oh, we're going to be
Figure one yet. We'll figure something
A
out.
fancy jig.
We'll be doing. And thank you to our affiliates, Bearskin and Big Fig.
Yeah.
Constantly supporting the show. We appreciate it. We've seen some little things filtering through from Bearskin. It's very exciting.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And if you are like, what things are you talking about? If you use promo code BigFatGayPod, you can save 15% off your purchase and support the podcast. Okay.
All right. On that note, bam.
Whack, whack, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's my baby.
That's amazing.
The backup dancers are helping me up now after sliding on my knees.
Did you just do a death drop? Oh my God.
He's trying to pick up that 8.
First up from the Sun, we are talking about plus size representation on The Bachelorette in
Dun, dun, dun.
The Men.
Yeah, this is awesome. So basically, one of the contestants, one of the male
The Bachelor.
prospects,
Prospects.
is a plus size fellow named Brett. And now the cool thing here is that not only is Brett fabulous and he looks great, they have a promo video that they posted on Instagram, and you can kind of see like all of the potentials kind of scrolling by with their names, and they get to do a little thing before they're gone. And Brett pops up and like instantly charismatic. Mm-hmm. Like I thought he was like far more charismatic than almost any of the other contestants, but that's not it. all of the people commenting on this are so in love with Brett.
Yeah.
They're like so into it.
Well, and comments like it's about time we had a big boy on as one of the contestants.
Yeah.
And I also do want to mark the just ridiculous chasm between if you remember, they did have once upon a time a fat girl as the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
And it didn't go well.
God,
it was really
people really
awful.
say that?
Well,
people, of course, people
are terrible. But the and that was we had her on the show and we just got rid of her as fast as we could. But this, because I think it's a man, it's a whole other, it shows the difference. It shows why fat liberation is centered around women.
I'll be honest. I'm also wondering how much of it just deals with the fact that this is the first contestant on The Bachelor in any season that I've heard mass comments on their charisma, not their looks, their charisma.
And I think that's because he's a man.
I think that lands because oh my God, you mean there's someone on there I instantly connect to and feel for as opposed to just they're hot, but they're an empty soul of need inside.
Well, I think also it helps that he's fat, but it is more like the brawn.
Yeah, he's definitely
build.
could be in a Big and Tall magazine sort of model look.
Although
he looks like he just escaped from a DXL catalog. He really does.
Related to that, on the DXL main page, one of the just general photos, kind of breaking up at the sections. There was a guy who's he's really fat. It's
really?
Yeah.
All right.
I've never seen
a rotund gentleman, which I was like, hello, sir. It was DXL's coming through because I feel like for a very long time, it was just very, brawn.
Beefy.
Yes, not even that. I mean, in my day, big and tall only meant tall.
Dan, your day could mean anything.
Well, it starts in the realm of dinosaurs. And then there was a Victrola. No, because big and tall, there was never, ever, ever any slightly fat models in big and tall magazines. It was only tall.
To bring it back to Brett, I think one of the things that people are picking out in the comments is not just Brett's, as Don pointed out, Brett's charisma, because he really does read as fun and charismatic and engaging as opposed to everyone else. But also people are talking about both. They are appreciating his looks and his charisma. I mean, the show's not out yet, so we haven't seen any of things. We just have the promo video to go
or
on.
how well he'll do, because this could be another thing we had him on, you all loved him, but thank God we got rid of him quick.
Yeah.
You know.
I have to say, my first thought when I saw Brett was he reminds me of those guys. It's do you want me to crack your back? And he's he also seems kind of tall, where he would just pick you up and crack your back.
Yeah.
He'd give you a little shake and you'd feel that nice little snap in your back.
He's got that sort of grizzly bear kind of
grizzly bear chiropractor feel.
Yeah, exactly.
So just kind of related, this week I've gotten 2 separate things kind of through Instagram of other fat representation in different reality shows happening right now.
Really?
Dating shows, international and gay. Oh, so the first, I just sent you all the clip that came through my Instagram, and it is from the Australian ABC's Better Date Than Never, which is a show about basically people who've never been on a date. And it is the show kind of helping these adults in, various stage of life navigate, how do I go on a first date? And what is that like? And how do I prepare for that?
Not how to go on a first date, but your first date ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is Charles, who is Chinese Australian. He's an engineer, and he is just so it's so sweet. And this clip is them telling him we found
you a date.
We found you a date.
And then how do you feel about that? And his whole face lights up. I'm just sort of watching this live right now, and it's he's so excited. I hope
this
is well.
and this is the charm of real reality television, right? This is when you're seeing. Well, I don't think this is acting that I'm looking.
No, I don't think so either. I think they're
but Dan's going. The better you set them up, the better they fall.
Exactly.
No, I understand it, but in this moment, this is the moment that I think reality television is good for. I'm having shared joy with this person in this moment right now, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
and so hopefully it follows through.
Yeah, I just know the medium.
Yeah, they had better not.
It's why you do it.
So that's Better Date Than Never. It's the newest season. I think you can probably watch it online if you're not in Australia, or use a
VPN.
A VPN.
Or move.
Or just move.
Yeah. So the Charles Better Date Than Never has already aired. I think this next thing is something else where it's going to be coming out. So 90 Day Fiance UK, which is on Discovery Plus, has a kind of like chub bear chaser couple, Sprite from Thailand, who is dating John from the UK. And they just did an interview ahead of the release of the show, kind of talking about their experience on the show, but also not saying much because they want people to watch see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that will be very interesting because they touch on it in the interview where, Sprite likes, fat bearish guys, but they're also, it's the thing of where like he's getting on him about his health, where it's just like, I think, 90 Day Fiance is usually like more kind of like the drama.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if they was manufactured.
I don't think so. I think that's a very real thing, and I think it'll be interesting.
It is, but but again, the genre of reality shows, it's about creating conflict. So if you have a couple and it's that couple and you're trying to create a conflict, it's like, well, aren't you worried about his health? You should really talk about his health. And they'll edit it into that.
But I don't know. So many things to check out.
Yeah.
The Bachelor here, Australia's Better Date Than Never, UK's 90 Day Fiance, which is, it says Discovery Plus. I don't know if that means you can watch it through Max.
Oh, right. Because they have Discovery.
So, but I don't think it's out yet, but it's the 90 Day Fiance UK newest season.
Nice. Well, who would have thought?
Yeah. This is very much something, once again, it's medical. Medical.
Can I read the headline?
Yes.
I would love to.
Medical, it is not.
Newsmedical.net. Does eating chili pepper decrease or increase obesity risk? That's the headline.
That's the headline. And the reason,
that's the whole study.
Yeah. Well, and the conclusion is we don't know, but it looks like it increases.
And so
I predict that if I eat 5 pounds of peppers, I will gain.
I really know it's not even that.
I really want to say this was my favorite part because I was reading this all like
it's such garbage.
Really just like what am I reading? And this was my favorite part is this. The analysis adjusting for all covariates revealed that participants from the frequent chili intake group had significantly higher BMI values than other group participants. More specifically, individuals who consumed chili peppers most frequently were associated with an average of 0.71 units greater BMI. How is that substantial? Like what? How, in what world?
It's not.
And the lesson learned from this: if you're dieting, order the mild, not the spicy.
Well, like, does that fall into the category of statistical anomaly?
No,
like,
it's garbage. It's garbage science. It's garbage science.
Their whole thing is like, well, people eat peppers with unhealthy foods.
Oh my God!
So they shouldn't eat peppers.
Right. It's every level of this research is
by the way, no, that wasn't a conclusion. That was like, we don't know, but here's a guess.
Yeah, they have they have a section at the bottom called conclusions, and it's a whole bunch of we don't really know, but you shouldn't eat peppers. That's what they said.
Well, and
I do not.
So much wrong from top to bottom.
Very confusing.
It's like
I do not share these things because I think they have value.
No. Yeah,
I share these things. I do think they have value in showing how much garbage obesity science there is. Like what?
If you slap obesity on a study, you will get funded.
Yeah. This is insane.
I want to know how they thought to do this. Were they just like seeing a fat person like eating jalapeno poppers? Or something?
They discuss it. No, they discuss it in the intro to the study, which is like, capsaicin and peppers have had very many beneficial effects for very many people. So we wondered, insert obesity.
They went in. They seemed to set it up. I don't know if they intended this, but they seemed to set it up as though they thought that perhaps eating hot peppers would reduce obesity risks. And then 0.71, unit BMI units higher. What?
Yeah, exactly. It's such a and it's BMI.
Yeah. There's so many layers.
And here's my favorite. My favorite is like, yes, we didn't notice that there was any change in the health levels of these people, but average BMI went up 0.7.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the people who did each other. It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense.
Well, and just
Total
the
garbage.
monitoring of it and the just the self-reporting.
Self-reported
of,
whether you eat chili peppers. Yeah.
Right.
I would maybe.
It was a survey study, wasn't
Yeah, it
it?
was a
Yeah, it
survey
was like,
What's
But
your
it would
height?
be-
What's your weight? How much chili do you eat?
Yeah.
I would be more interested if it was one of those studies where there was really kind of tight control over people eat it, what they eat. And some people get this amount of peppers in
Trevor,
their
don't
food.
be ridiculous.
You don't need that much work to sell this.
I don't know. News Medical is coming through with all
Really?
the weird. And
I
then it's,
want to know where the new diet supplement of the bland pill to help you lose pounds.
yeah.
It's actually it's like oatmeal in a capsule.
You laugh, but do you remember during the COVID years when the sense of taste started going away?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So many people started saying yeah, well, at least I lost all this weight during COVID.
It's true.
I remember started thinking they're going to put out a pill. They're going to figure out
That
what caused
removes your
happened.
sense of
They're
taste?
going to kill your sense of
Oh my
taste as the
God.
next big diet.
It's true
thing.
because all of a sudden there's no need to put cheese on a sandwich. You can't taste it.
Wow. Okay, well,
Yeah.
after that nice little tangent, bam!
Fat Watch 2024.
Is the eagle on another track or something?
No, that was the eagle from Fat Watch from 10 years ago. It's just echoing. It's it took a while to catch up.
Okay.
So we have a very an amazing song from an artist, Jannarie.
Yes. Can I play it?
Please.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Let's do that.
I have never been small. I have never been thin. I'm almost 6 feet tall. So tall I stretched my skin. I've got scars from blue to red. Permanent, dyed my hair to feel relevant. Bruises round my eyes, delicate, soft on the inside. I've got stories I could tell. Are you listening? Years I was unwell, crippling. Now I've built this shell, distancing myself from the outside. And I'm alive. And I'm alive.
It's really striking to have her singing in that low of a register.
I think I remember reading somewhere that this was in response to, partially at least, getting a bunch of hate mail first. She was on a reality show or she was on a podcast. And of course, she's a fat woman in media. So of course she got hate mail. And so this was in part a response to that.
Yeah.
I love the simplicity
I do too.
of the
Yeah.
sound.
That's so captivating.
And the shot,
great.
so it's an Instagram, it's a video on Instagram, and the shot is her, it's basically just a close-up of her staring off into the middle of the distance singing. And that's the whole thing. And then on I'm Alive, she turns and looks at the camera, and there's it's that I think is part of the simplicity.
Is
too.
there a full-length version of that to download or to purchase somewhere?
Yeah.
Don, you can purchase the song via Bandcamp, which
Nice.
I will link. I'll link to her link tree where it has the links to various streaming platforms and to purchase.
Yeah, and reacting to this in the moment, as beautiful as the song itself was, it's worth seeing the visual that she gives to accompany it. Again, the simplicity of the voice combined with the simplicity of that image, it makes for a very powerful moment. Give it a look; it's worth it.
And it's fully self-released, self-supported, self-funded. So definitely support her.
All right. So today we have a special treat for you. We're here with Corey Sherman, the writer and director of the Big Boys movie that some of you may remember we've brought up a couple times.
Maybe just a handful
the
of
past
times.
year, just
Gushed
something-
about,
Yeah, I'm just going to go out on a limb and pretend that some people in this room have maybe heard of you before. So can you tell us a little bit about, tell me, what is this movie about?
Yeah. So this movie, Big Boys, is about a 14-year-old kid named Jamie who goes on a camping trip with his family, his older cousin, and she brings along her new boyfriend, this guy named Dan. And he's sort of like a beefy, burly guy. And at first, Jamie's upset that his like cousin only time is ruined. But then he starts to realize that he thinks this guy is really cool and just like wants to be like him and wants to hang out with him. And they start to bond over stuff together. And then slowly Jamie realizes like, oh, like something else is going on here. Like I actually think I have a huge crush on this guy. And it's sort of the first time in his life that he's let himself go there mentally about another guy and just like actually lean into the feeling of like, oh, I have this huge crush. And it's really scary, but also exhilarating and sort of motivates him to try to get as close to this guy as he possibly can.
Yeah. I found it at once comically realistic.
Yeah.
And completely magical.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to go a step further and say painfully realistic.
Yes. It was very palpably,
This was
just awkward, but like so real. And so I think made so many moments from my past click into place.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
but it
This
also-
was me in 9th grade, by the way. Exactly.
Yeah. But it also has this, there's such an element, because it's a camping trip there. It's magical.
Yeah.
It's so magical,
absolutely.
which comes across in the cinematography and the story, in just the way people are kind of, the looks you get in people's eyes. It's just lovely. Yeah.
Just by the way, just so people know, as you're listening, we're going to do a spoiler-free discussion, but this will be a safe listen if you have not seen the movie yet. And if you have, it'll be even better.
So I want to describe a very visceral moment of the movie for me where I realized like, oh dear, this movie is landing and is actually capturing my POV as a teenager way too well. Where Jamie, the lead character of the movie, Jamie, comes into the room and his cousin and his mom is there and the boyfriend is in the room. But the way you shot it, the boyfriend is not in the shot of Jamie's POV when he's talking to these people. And it's not until he's forced to look at him that the entire shot swivels to take him into the room. Now, that was the essence of my attraction when I was a teenager. If I was attracted, there was going to be a big black hole around that person in the room unless I was forced to redirect.
Oh, I see.
And so that moment of the movie, it set me up to live in Jamie's head so effectively that so I'm going to talk to our audience real quick as the writer in me. There's this thing called subtext in movies where characters feel things but don't say them or say the opposite of them. I find in a lot of LGBTQ movies, subtext is thin to non-existent.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the reasons why I found your movie so interesting, is that the subtext was so well concealed in the character that I understood every single line that your actor was portraying because it was subtext that I have delivered in my lifetime. And I don't believe I'm unique in that.
Well, it's the
based in these reactions.
Yeah, it's the coding, because everything he wants to say, he can't say, or certainly doesn't want to admit that he wants to say.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I really appreciate you saying that. That's like a really exciting thing to me about movies in general, like loading it up with subtext, like leaving the way that people interact, like trying to capture that as naturally and organically as possible. And then let the audience be the ones to have fun with like reading into things.
Yeah.
And reading into the things that people are clearly hiding or dismissing, like all these little things. And so I also just think it's like being gay, especially like being a gay kid. It's like all about subtext. Like you said, it's like all about the coding.
It's where
and like,
you live.
Exactly.
100%.
And like what you're not saying. It's like totally, it's just like you're sort of trapped in your private life, this private life that you're not really giving anybody a window into. And so I like the idea of like making a movie that the audience was so intimate with Jamie that they were like living in that private life, even though nobody else had access to it yet.
There's something that I really liked about how you shot the movie was that it is a very subjective point of view. Like you were with Jamie for the entire movie, I think, right? Is that fair to say? So like when you're making your shot selections, how much does that inform, like for instance, the shot that Don picked out, like how much does that inform? Are you literally trying to represent his literal viewpoint? Like where his eyes are, like to what degree does that go into your creative process?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was just thinking about the subjectivity of the scene and like working with my cinematographer, Gus, like to just figure out like literally what is the intention of each scene. And it would often or basically always come down to like, how does this change the way that Jamie's feeling or the way that Jamie sees somebody, particularly Dan? And we would definitely choose shots that we just felt like were within the language of the movie, which is admittedly pretty plain, which is something that was really exciting to me because I wanted to make a movie that felt like it was presenting the world as sort of like realistically as possible. And I didn't want cinematography that would make it feel like you were living in some sort of like movie-fied world. And so sticking to this sort of like plainer language, it was like just figuring out like what are like these simple kind of shots that we can use that can put us in Jamie's head in, I think, as subtle of a way as possible. Because, you know, obviously there's so much you can do to achieve subjectivity in movies. And I really liked the idea of like treading lightly and having a quiet touch. But it was, you know, just like little things like making Jamie look really small in the frame when he was like feeling particularly, you know, just like, you know, like not confident in himself. And, and I think like, you know, just framing him for like comedic moments as well. Like, you know, a lot of thought just like, went into that.
Yeah. You can tell.
I kind of want to pull back a little bit and give people an insight into where did this movie come from for you? I'm sure this is the thing you get asked most often is what was the impetus for this? Because I think this is your first feature, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure like most first features is something you've been thinking about for a very long time.
Totally.
So where does this come from? Where's the germ? What was the important element to you?
Yeah. I mean, it's something that honestly I started thinking about when I was Jamie's age because I had a crush on my best friend who was straight and it was just like absolutely killing me inside. Yeah. And I think I almost needed to like create a movie and a character that was like a surrogate for myself while I was going through that experience because it was so brutal experieing it. I was like, I need to be able to see myself as a character in a movie to get through this. And I think at that time, it was very much the opposite of what Big Boys ended up being because I needed a character that I could sort of romanticize, like somebody who was more heroic and sort of cooler than I was. And then as I got older and I got more distance from the experience, I didn't need that sort of like veil. In fact, it became the opposite where I was like, I actually want to make something that is as brutally honest about the minutia of what that experience is and completely like do nothing to romanticize it. And
I feel like if Jamie was a glossier version of Jamie, the movie wouldn't have landed this way.
I mean, part of making this movie was feeling a little bit like there were too many stories like this that did have this gloss on it, almost like an element of like wish fulfillment. Like the audience being like, and there's some stuff that I love that is like that, but there is very much a feeling of like, oh, I wish that was me. I wish I had that at that age. And I really wanted to do the thing of like, you know what, this is what I got at this age. And like, it's worthy of respect and it's worthy of its own story. And I think that other people have this kind of thing too. And in fact, by not showing it in a movie, it makes it feel like it's like a less worthy experience. And it's like a less important experience. And when I talk about experience, I mean specifically just like being a sort of awkward, chubby gay kid with crushes on guys you can't have. And the frustration of that and the romance that you're feeling inside, like all of that, like, I was just excited by the idea of like, this can make its own movie.
Yeah.
I have to ask, so, because Isaac Krasner does such an amazing job
as Jamie,
and just like, there's so many things and just so many gestures and the way he carries himself. And I want to know how much of that, like, did you work with him to guide that? Or was that just natural?
Did he just show up like that?
Because there's just so many moments, especially early on, like when he's with his mom, just the way, like, just little gestures and the way he's standing and the way just the diction. And like, there's so much stuff. It's like you said, it's so real and not the like, I'm a cool, sexy teen, and this is the story of how I'm going to get the guy. It's like, it's like, I'm just like, I'm a child, and I am starting to see myself as an adult, and just like, there's so much that is just so real, and I want to know how much of that was you, how much of that was Isaac, how much of it was the working through that together.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I'd say in terms of like some of the personality traits, like interests and things that was put into the script, like some of the language that he uses, his interest in cooking, you know, his interest in drawing. There's like these basic elements and his sort of like joie de vivre, like his excitability, like there are these elements that are in the script. But I was thinking about this recently, like Isaac had such a deeply intuitive understanding of this character from the get-go. There was barely any conversation we had to have that was like about the essence of this person. person. He just knew that person and knew that person beyond what I knew about that person. Like, for example, like he's really fidgety in the movie. He's like constantly playing with his hands. That was not something we talked about at all. That was just like very naturally Isaac. And so he, like every take, every scene, he was always inside it and always being that person. And I realized that my job was sort of to be almost like an audience surrogate, where it's like, we need to understand, like we need to be getting this message from this moment. So try tweaking your performance to go in this direction to, you know, basically communicate this idea instead. But there was never a take where I was like, I don't believe you as Jamie, because he was always so deep inside that person.
Yeah, exactly.
I find, so I'm just curious, because I've, in the handful of things that I've directed where it had a similar idea of like, oh, like this is a particularly vulnerable moment for this character, and I want to make sure that the actor like feels comfortable enough being that way in this shot. Like, to what degree, like what was the relationship between you and Isaac for those more like, I don't know, I guess intimate moments, like where like anyone else in that situation with a stranger would be really uncomfortable displaying that, but actors have to go there and directors have to work with them to kind of help them there. Like, what was that experience like with Isaac in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helped that we had some time to like talk about the script and do like a week of rehearsal to build up some trust there.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was also a learning process for me because I never really worked with actors his age before. And so it was like a process of learning like what makes you comfortable, like what is stuff that you want to talk about versus stuff you don't want to talk about.
And how old was he at the age of shooting?
I was going to say, what's the age of the character and the age of the actor?
So Jamie, the character, is 14 and Isaac was 16 when we shot the movie.
Wow.
And I think a lot of it was just his natural bravery and being willing to go there on screen, because like we were just talking about before, it's like none of this is like romanticized. There's nothing really to hide behind. He's really having to represent stuff as, you know, as raw as possible. And, you know, I think it was like trying with certain stuff, it was trying to be mindful of like not doing too many takes. You know, also creating like a closed set for certain moments that are just like really sensitive. And, you know, I think that it was also luckily like a very sort of like loving environment, and the crew was very supportive of him and a big fan of his. And I think that people let him know just like how impressed they were by him and how much they were rooting for him. And yeah, it still blows my mind the places he went to. I mean, really all of them, but particularly him and some of the younger cast members, like how,
it's really impressive.
Yeah. They were just willing to be so honest on camera in a way that if I was that age, like, I just think I would be too scared to go there.
Like, it's almost like they're actors or something.
I know. Exactly.
No, they're really good. They're really
As an adult, I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable. Like, because there's just, the young cast is just so phenomenal in capturing those, just painful, like awkward moments where it's just like, and like, I feel like it shook me to my core to like back, like psychic damage back in time to like how real it was.
Yeah. I'm so glad. I mean, I just want to say that is like a top priority for me because I love that feeling so much.
To deal retroactive psychic damage.
Yes. Like to just create something where you have to pause it to absorb the blow.
Yeah.
I think you want to talk about the brother who is, I think it should be said is like, in many ways, I think of him as the opposite of Jamie's younger brother. He's thin, he's gorgeous, he's got, you know, from Jamie's point of view, maybe has his life together. I don't know.
But what I thought was really interesting is that you can see the way you never spell it out in the movie, right? By going through how each of them is treated by the world at large. But the way the world treats each of them is very clear.
It's so palpable,
right? Yeah. So like Jamie, in my memory and in my perception of the movie, Jamie never has a fat horror moment in the movie. No one ever attacks him directly for being fat. I don't even remember anyone calling him fat. But being a fat person myself at that age and now, I recognized all the behaviors that he puts forward as results of damage from behavior of being fat.
The dodging, the hiding,
and I feel like we've given that actor credit. But the brother also put out that same complex layer of behaviors of being treated well for his looks.
Right? The brother is Tosh Cross's Will.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to call out like the performance that actor put was equally as impressive.
And having his own insecurities that we also see.
But the relationship between him and Jamie I found the most interesting. I don't have a brother relationship to pull from to try and understand that bond, but there was so much more kindness and abuse between the two of them that I'm used to seeing in a brother relationship in a short.
Do you have a brother?
I do have an older brother. Yeah.
Well, no, and I think it's key. I mean, Michael, you and I were talking about this last night. You know, Don and I are only children.
Yeah.
So it's all new to us.
Right.
So, but I do recognize what Don's saying is that there's this, because they're fraternal, there's this intimacy, which also means like there's heightened love and heightened cruelty.
Yeah. Well, and
but the fact that it wasn't just one or the other was really, really wonderful for me.
It was magical. Yeah.
Because he wasn't a caricature, and that relationship is now something that has to be both defended from and protected.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. I definitely want to address like Taj's performance first, because
really amazing.
He is
excellent work,
an amazing actor. He was in this show called Pen 15, which was a huge inspiration for this show. And then another actor, Marion Van Kayak, who plays Erica, the girl that Jamie's like put together with. She's also from that show.
Yeah.
And so we really just poached their whole cast.
I have been in that exact situation.
To all the Ericas in the world.
We love you.
We love you, and we value you, and we're so sorry for our participation.
Yeah,
in those moments.
But yeah, I just wanted. I mean, so Taj like went in from like I think like a particularly sensitive point of view, because he is very much unlike his character. He's such a sweetheart and like such a mensch, and really cared about, because he was 18 when we shot the movie. And I think that he saw a little bit of his younger self in Isaac, who plays Jamie, and really wanted to take care of him and make sure that he felt safe. And Taj also used to be a chubby kid. He is, and you can see that if you watch Pen 15. So he was only like a year or two out from being that.
Okay.
And so I think he was particularly sensitive to that and understood in the ways in which you can be undercut by somebody, and the different ways that you carry yourself for when you're big and when you're not. And so I'm really glad that you picked up on that.
Well, I'm genuinely surprised by it, because I have to say there are a couple points where like I was seeing an empathy from the older brother about his body, right? That I was like, wow, this actor's doing a really good job. Like the fact that he actually experienced it in real life makes a lot more sense.
No, but at the same time, I think one of the things about the character of the brother is that he's also very young. He's like, the character's 16. Yeah. So the character's 16, and he is just coming into this flowering of beautiful manhood. I mean, if you say like, maybe the actor is too, like, he's like, oh my God, people reacting to me like I'm beautiful. And that can fuck with you.
Totally. And like, just create this, I think he just really understood the swagger of a character like that. Like you're saying, like somebody who's just coming into this insane level of confidence.
Exactly.
There's a moment that I just like has lived rent free in my head forever when they're like looking, like when he like kind of does the crocodile thing in the water.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm so glad.
And it's just so like, it's so funny, but also such like a real like weird teen boy thing.
Yeah, 100%.
He thought of that completely, and that almost didn't make it into the movie. So I'm glad. You liked it.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, actually, that brings me to a question I had, which was, so I mean, it's very definitely stuff that you've drawn from your own life from, and you've thought about for a long time. What's your process like in terms of, I get the impression like this was a long time in the writing. And so, did this mostly come through like it's in the script? And how much play is there, when you're filming, time is money, and like how much play is there for collaboration? How much play is there
in like improv?
Not even improv, or like, he did this thing in the water and like, I wasn't sure about it, but we put it in anyway, and like, glad you liked it. So I mean, how collaborative? Some film directors are not very collaborative and some are very collaborative.
Yeah, I think in terms of writing the script, it took, like I said, like it's sort of an idea that's been percolating in my head for, it had been for almost like 14 years. And I had written a couple different versions of it, like a couple different short films that were sort of similar ideas. And then when I was on an actual camping trip with my family, I had this idea, and I was like, originally I thought maybe it would be like a kid who goes on a camping trip with his friend and his friend's dad and becomes obsessed with the friend's dad. But I was like, let me not go all the way there. I thought maybe like a closer age gap would just make it more palatable in a good way.
And I think also it gives it more texture. Because there's the whole dad thing that we already have judgments about.
Sure, totally. But yeah, it was something that like once I started writing the movie, because I had been thinking about this idea for a while, it came out pretty quickly. Like it took me about 6 months to get to a version of the script that I was ready to show like a producer. And I think that time was really valuable because it was just all this private time for me to just figure out the kind of movie I wanted to make and the tone and the specific moments and ideas I wanted to get across. And like, really
if I just can interrupt you for a moment. And that to me is what is such, you got to get, I would normally, if you, as a genre, I would fucking hate this kind of movie. And as you can tell, I'm really super captivated by it. And it has everything to do with what you just said. It's the tone. It's these really tiny choices. Kind of reminds me of Mike Nichols, in these really intimate character moments that are moment to moment to moment. And sorry to interrupt you, but yes, what we were tweaking is exactly what I think makes the film so brilliant.
Thank you for saying that. And obviously that's super flattering. I think in terms of like, this was such a valuable lesson for me in terms of collaborating with other people, because I realized how important it was for me to have that time to write the movie and be in my own head about it and figure out the foundation of what I was trying to get across. And then it was, that's like getting like, I don't know, like 25, 30% there. Then there's the whole process of bringing in all these other people, like actors, producers, cinematographer, and so even in pre-production, rewriting the movie through these different processes of talking about, like, casting was a great opportunity to rewrite the movie because you see people reading the script and you're like, that scene doesn't work at all. Like, I need to change that. Exactly. A shot listing the movie was an opportunity to rewrite because you come up with so many new ideas when you're just literally thinking about how to shoot it. And so that was a huge thing. And then working with actors, having them do improv in rehearsal, and then trying out these scenes, seeing what works and what doesn't. It was like such a process of just like rewriting and refining. And like that felt really, really good because it was like, I felt secure because I knew the basics of what I was trying to get across. But then I felt really good because I felt like the thing was like breathing and it was alive and it was changing. And like, I was like, that's a good thing because it just feels like it's just absorbing richness from other people.
Yeah. As opposed to like, I am shooting the documentation of my script.
Exactly.
Yeah. The greatest lesson I ever learned as a director was that you go out and find as many people that are more talented than you and bring them into your projects so that they can just build it up.
That's been my key to success.
Let me just underline, like, you make that sound like that's an inevitability and you make that sound like that's just something directors do.
It is not.
It is not. Let me point out and underline and circle the fact that that is a directorial choice brought by the person in leadership to make their project permeable to other people's creativity.
Well, hence my question. Right?
So respect,
Thank you.
Whether you're aware you're doing that or not.
I do think that like trying to make something that feels super realistic, I do think it can only really get there if you are really open to other people, because you like your version of reality is only one sort of piece of the puzzle. I felt like every time that somebody brought in a new idea or like a new specific detail, that was when the movie actually started to feel real. So that's definitely something I want to keep pursuing.
Well, I mean, and speaking of bringing perspectives in doing the podcast, oh, well, I think I'm just going to give that up. In doing the podcast, each of us has had a deepening in our relationship with the Chub Chaser community. And for old war horses like me, it's like, I've been around since the age of dinosaurs, and like the Chub Chaser community is very well-worn landscape for me. And for others of us, it's something that they've come to much later. And I'm curious if you had a relationship with the Chub Chaser community, if you do have one, if it's changed or what that's been like for you.
Yeah, that's like baked into the DNA of my whole experience of being gay. Like I knew almost immediately when I was like 12 or 13, like the second I realized I liked guys, it was that I liked big guys because that was the first kind of guy I was attracted to, and it's never changed since then. So like
relatable.
And so that's just that it was such a huge thing for me, especially like in middle and high school, like looking up pictures of like the last year's Bear Week in Provincetown and like searching through the gallery and every year being like, I'm going to get there one day. I still haven't been.
Corey, this year's the year. We got to talk.
I know. But yeah, like I remember like also like reading Andrew Sullivan's article.
Oh yeah.
That was like a huge deal for me.
About bears, right?
About bears. Yeah. And it's like, I think like looking like but in terms of just like literally like body size, like, yes, like big guys, I was always like a chubby kid. And so, I don't know. I think that there was something that was immediately very reassuring to me about seeing like an older big guy who was like had real confidence in his body and sort of like owned his sexiness that was just like really appealing and felt very comfortable because it felt like it was like another like a version of me. So I could feel really comfortable in my own skin around that kind of guy. And that's turned out to be true to this day because it's just such a shared experience, especially if you're a chubby kid, like knowing that when you're with another big guy, they just understand the emotional experience you've had growing up on a very sort of visceral level.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I hear that a lot, especially from, I'm not so much involved in the bear community, but certainly in the chub chaser community, we have Chub for Chub. I hear that a lot. Like people just get it.
I mean, it's just interesting when you see the movie, like that's what I was saying in the beginning. Like watching this movie, you can tell this is someone who has an intimate understanding of fatness.
Yeah.
And it made me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Wait, I'm also so curious. I never drew that distinction in my mind between bear and chub chaser.
Oh, they're completely different cultures.
That's so fun. Wait, I'm so curious. Can you put that in?
Why, yes. See my article in Bear World. There's in the United States, there is in the rest of the world, no, bear is chub is bear because it's there. But in the US, for whatever reason, we have two very distinct cultures, chub chaser and bear. They are merging. And one could say that at this day and age, they're almost the same, but they're still a little disjunct. But bear they come out of different histories. You know, chub chaser comes out of being fat. Bear comes out of being masculine and not being a 70s twink.
Right.
And so then you start to get, and not into the depilatation and the hairlessness and the boyish thing and the bears are like, fuck that shit. You know, I'm not gonna buy Calvin Klein, and I think camping's cool.
Right.
As opposed to the chub chaser community, where that's not where it lives. That could be true. Where the chub chaser community is much more about like, you know, someone's being fat and just the experience of being a fat person, and somebody being like, wow, I love that guy's fat. I love the curves. Sometimes loves the masculinity of that.
Sure.
But it's kind of a different history and therefore a different aesthetic. And it gives rise to different kinds of events.
And there's a different public perception too.
Like very much so.
Common, like I would say the common culture, like everyday culture, people know the word bear.
Yeah.
You pretty much anyone you could talk to would understand what the word bear means. And that's sort of there already. And it's moved to a point where it's essentially accepted and even embraced. And I would say a lot of circles the whole,
everybody knows what the bear is. Everybody knows what the bear is.
And bears are cute. Bears are cuddly. Bears are sexy. Like there's
we were just talking on the podcast earlier today about this.
Our first bachelor bear.
The bachelor bear. Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason for that. You're not getting the first bachelor chub. Where, and the idea being like, you're not getting like this cherubic, beautiful, boyish, pretty fat guy. That is not what, I mean, the whole, Iglesias, help me. The comic.
Oh, Gabriel
Iglesias
Fluffy.
versus John Goodman.
Sure.
You know, that pretty much illustrates chub versus bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think, as to Dan's point, I think there is a lot of merge and overlap. Like it's not like they're totally distinct.
It's more and more as bears have gotten fatter.
Yeah.
I think especially post-COVID, where a more rounded body became normal in both gay and straight societies.
Yep.
All of a sudden, I noticed a lot of straight guys all of a sudden using bear to describe themselves.
Right.
And like, okay, but
let's not talk about that. But you know, it's only in the last, I'm going to say 10 years, maybe 15, where bear had anything to do with fat.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was.
I mean, I definitely knew that like in the 90s,
guys.
bear was essentially hairy and muscled.
Hairy and some degree of muscularity, which could be beefy, which could be, you know, the brawny paper towel guy. It just wasn't the slim, slender gay.
Right. Not anti-twink.
Whereas today you have a lot of bears who are like, he's not a bear. He's not even fat. You know, which is for me like kind of a mind fuck because it's like, oh, right. Okay. We're there now. All right.
And there's the whole like masculinity thing, which you mentioned. That
masculinity
was like
is
the
super
main
important
thing I feel like I internalized when I learned about that. Honestly, in a way that like now looking back on it, I think did me a little bit of harm.
Yeah.
And I've started to rethink it a little bit because I was like friends with almost entirely just straight guys. And I put such a premium on like a very sort of like normalized idea of masculinity. And I'm like, yes, I can be gay, but I'm not going to be that kind of gay.
Right.
Hands up. Who said that to themselves in this room?
I said that to every person I came out to when I was a teenager. And I partially, and this is not like I will say like Andrew Sullivan's article on being a bear was a lifeline. Yeah. But it also like, it gave me this language and this framework of thinking about it that I think like I needed then to even just cope with the idea. But now looking back on it, I'm like, oh, that stuff did get internalized in a way where I'm like creating this distinction between like, oh, if I'm a bear, that means like I can be like a guy's guy. And that means I'm not really, really like stereotypically gay. And it's just like, it becomes very heady in a way that I've been trying to sort of like unwind. And honestly, I tried to put into the movie as well, because like Jamie, I think like does genuinely love like the straight guys in his life. He loves his brother. He clearly is like become like developing this crush on Dan. There's like this feeling of like closeness with these guys. And there's this feeling of like, I want to be accepted and loved by them. I want to be just like them, but also feeling like I'm not like them. I'm actually very different and accepting those differences. And by the end of the movie, hopefully feeling like there's a harmony between them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because if you want to say fat, masculine, confident, you're kind of you're ushering people towards the bear door. You know?
Yeah. Right.
Towards that end, I want to ask you about the fantasy sequences in your movie, where when Jamie pictures himself in a situation that does involve a sexuality element, the actor is replaced with a new actor. I was curious what your thinking and your reasoning behind that was.
Yeah. So that was definitely something we talked a lot about, because that's obviously sensitive stuff. It's like a 14-year-old sexual fantasies. And I wanted to do something that would like communicate like the honesty of like what you are thinking about at that age without ever making the audience uncomfortable. Because I like, even though I think that there's cringy moments in this movie, it's not the kind of cringe where I like want people to be suffering. It's hopefully the kind of thing where it's like, oh, you cringe because you recognize something of yourself in the character. And this is sort of secondhand embarrassment. Yeah, exactly. But I did not want to do the kind of thing where it's like, it feels like provocative for the sake of just being provocative. Right. And so we did cast this older actor named Jack DeSands, who plays an older version of Jamie in his own fantasies. So when Jamie fantasizes about being with Dan, he fantasizes about this other version of himself who's like college age. He wears like a cable knit sweater. Yeah. He's like a sort of like very sort of like intelligent, sort of like collegiate looking version.
Well, and I think it is absolutely what Jamie would hope he would be.
Exactly.
You know, it's wonderful. Yeah. And I think it allows us, because, you know, the whole movie, it's not even that I'm rooting for Jamie so much, is like he's the hero. Like we talked about the gloss, like that there's no gloss on this. So it's like, you don't want to be Jamie. Jamie's life sucks. It's hard. He's in turmoil. But you're rooting for Jamie. And one of the things you're rooting for?
You're rooting for Jamies.
Right.
All Jamies everywhere.
Perhaps, but like what I'm talking about is I so badly want it to work out. I don't want this to end in awfulness for him. Because, you know, y'all may know camping is not my thing. So he's already in hell. He's in camping. So, but that's me. But you know, it's like, I so want this to work out for him. So having it be this fantasy version of him, of his best older self, I mean, that would be the fantasy. That is like the best possible outcome. Yeah. And the movie does, I don't want to say have a happy ending, but like, no, Jamie doesn't get shit on in the end, which I love. You know, that's really important to me.
That was, so my experience of watching it, and I think I watched a film festival screening back in November, December, and going in, I didn't necessarily know what to expect exactly. It's just like, oh, this is a subject that we've talked about and we want to be supportive of. And I think I knew within the first 5 minutes of watching that I wasn't going to get slimed watching it, which is, I think you know what I mean.
It's a term we use.
Well, but that goes back to Don's earlier point. Like, you got that a filmmaker with experience with fat bodies did this.
Yes.
Whether he was fat himself or had a fat sister, we didn't know that.
Which is a big deal.
It's like, a big deal.
You can feel the difference.
Yeah.
How many shows and movies have we watched where we want to support what it is, but then you watch it and there's always like one little thing that sucks about it.
We've done a number of movie reviews on this podcast where we usually have to add the disclaimer of like, okay, look, they're not going to be kind to us through this entire experience, you know?
I mean, or just the thing of like, oh, well, so, so the audience understands Jamie's fat. We open on him eating.
Yeah.
Because otherwise people wouldn't get that he's fat.
Yeah, I mean, how would they know if he's fat if he's not eating a sandwich in the scene?
Totally. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that stuff came through. I mean, I remember talking to Isaac about the thing of like pulling the shirt down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like trying to get little things in there that would be like sort of if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where, I think that's what Don, you were talking about earlier and you're picking up on. And I think it's where a lot of it just hits. I mean, not that mainstream audiences don't appreciate that as well, but I think if you have lived in a fat body or know someone who intimately has lived in a fat body, you can't help but see those things.
Yeah.
It's so
There
like
was-
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
There was a feeling that I got, and this is going to sound like I'm saying a negative thing. Do not
Please,
take it that
go
way.
ahead.
I was actually sort of like maybe 10 minutes into the movie, I was actually having some issues of going like, oh God, do I want to keep going? Because I was starting to remember what it was like, feeling stuck in that situation. Like, this is life, right? There's nowhere to escape to. This is life. There's no escaping.
Well, especially when you're 14.
This is where I am. Exactly. And so because the movie delivered on that feeling so completely in the beginning, I was actually having a hard time going back to that because I have gotten unstuck, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
But over the course of that movie, right, I feel like I'm not even going to say that you deliver in the last act of the movie. I'm going to say for me, Act 2 and Act 3 is him finding his mobility in the place where he is stuck, right? Finding that there is movement in that space where he feels trapped, and then seeing the exit in Act 3, seeing the way out, right? Does that make any kind of sense?
Absolutely. I love that. I love your way of putting that. Seriously. Yeah. And I think that it also helps that the movie's like literally set on a camping trip. It's like, because I felt like, to this day, like going on trips can sort of like break my brain open and help me see my life in a new way. And I remember talking to our cinematographer about this a lot, of like trying to create a sense of openness in the space so that Jamie can feel like literally just more space to breathe.
I think that's where it is. Like once you start getting in that open spaces, that's where I started feeling him starting to be able to move.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
that make
Dorothy
sense?
going to Oz. Like once you get out of Kansas and this suburban life, now we're in this wide open wilderness where things can happen, things where I'm calling magical, like, and he meets, and like they're on this camping trip, they meet other campers and things like that.
But that first act did a great job of setting up that sort of claustrophobia, that molasses that you live in. Sorry.
Yeah. So one thing kind of building on what Don just said, like one thing I really liked about this, which I feel like, and especially in a lot of independent films where it's very personal, a lot of times people fall into the pitfall of having which didn't happen in this case, to be clear, but having the protagonist be kind of like things are just happening to them and they kind of are just drifting through the story and you kind of are just expected to sympathize with them. And I like that Jamie, even though he's dealing with all of this stuff, he is making his own decisions. He's like, I want to go do this.
He has agency.
He has
and
agency.
you're just praying that it's not going to end in disaster, but he has agency.
Right. And that to me is so, just in terms of just like filmmaking perspective and like creating an identifiable and relatable protagonist, like having somebody who says, I'm experiencing this new feeling, and instead of like curling up in a ball and running away, like, actually, no, I'm going to go pursue Dan a little bit. I'm going to go create moments where I can talk to him. Like, I wish I had done that as, as a 14-year-old in 9th grade when I had a crush on my teacher, Mr. Gillespie, and I was like obsessed with him, but could not open my mouth around him. Like, I admired that. I wish I had been like that. What?
I'm laughing because I'm thinking of, we talked about in an episode about teachers and how I had a crush on a teacher in 7th grade, but I would kind of like neg him.
That's my boy.
Because it was like
I really like you. You suck.
To do was just like roasting him.
Yeah. What a loser. Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I also got sick of that thing in particularly coming of age stories where it's like literally all the character has to do is be shy and we're supposed to love them.
Oh my God, yes.
And like, I really liked, one of the core ideas in this movie was about pursuing somebody that you can never have, but there's still this like engine inside you that is pushing you closer to them. And like, no matter what, I want to get their attention. I want their approval. I want them to laugh at my jokes.
Yeah.
I want them to look at me literally like, and so I liked the idea of Jamie being like driven by something that even he doesn't quite understand yet. Like if you asked him like, what do you hope comes of this? I don't think he would really know, you know.
What's your 5-year plan, Jamie?
Exactly. But all he wants is just closeness to this guy. And so, and I like the idea of that being the sort of driving force of the movie.
I had, so I'm the youngest of 3 siblings, and I had so many moments of just like trying to force closeness with some of my siblings' friends who, looking back, it's like, oh no, I had a crush on him. Yeah. And it's, there's so many moments that are just like, you did such an amazing job of capturing that, just the visceralness of just this unclear attraction and just yearning. But there's a couple moments.
And I should say, it's both pathetically awful and very funny.
Yes.
And very funny.
Yeah.
There's a couple moments that there's kind of 2 specific things I would love to know the inspiration for, because they're so real. So revisiting Erica.
Yeah.
So we should set up who Erica is.
Yes. Will and Jamie meet their sibling. Are they siblings?
They're supposed
or
to be sisters.
So sisters. And it's kind of this thing. It's like, there's the older one for me. And like, there's the younger sister who's also like, the younger chubby girl who's like, and she's for you.
Yeah. We're brothers. They're sisters. We should get it on.
Right.
And it's this kind of like, okay, well, like go off now and like have your first kiss, have your moment with this girl and like do stuff. And it's so people even talk about it, where it's like, okay, like this is it. And also like Erica's kind of like expecting it. And it's just he's just trying,
everyone's on the same page except for Jamie.
And he's just kind of dancing around it and just trying to like, I had a sip of beer or something. Like it's
That hurt.
everyone's uncomfortable and like she's uncomfortable. She also is kind of like, okay, but this is just supposed to happen. Like we're just this needs to happen. So
Well, how much is she internalizing
Yeah.
it too?
Right. Like, what am
am
I
being
doing
rejected?
wrong that he's not?
And so is there a real Erica out there?
You want to know if that's a real life person?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think the main experience that was based on was when I visited my brother's fraternity. He went to UT at Austin, and I went there when I was like 16. And I remember like right when we met up, he was like, "We're gonna get you some Longhorn ladies while you're here."
How old were you?
I was 16. He was 18.
Oh boy.
What a great idea.
I know. And I remember like him like basically introducing me to like these girls at the frat house, and they were really sweet, but I basically would just pretend to be asleep on the couch. And every time I would like open my eyes again, there would be a new girl standing in front of me. And I would just pretend to just pass back out. And so that was the main inspiration for that.
Wow. Yeah.
The other, I don't know if either of these are kind of spoilery, but the hot dog.
Oh yeah.
When Jamie takes the hot dog and is just kind of inspecting it, just kind of like,
yeah, during his fantasy sequence, he grabs a hot dog from the cooler and doesn't quite know what to do with it, but knows that he's like intrigued by it. Yeah.
Or is he intrigued by it, or is it, I should know what to do with this? I know there's something I'm supposed to do with this. Where do you land on that?
Pondering the hot dog.
Yeah, I think to me it it's a feeling of like, I'm so sick of just fantasizing about this. I want to do something to manifest this fantasy into reality. But it's his like very first steps into that. So like he's not even sure what he's going to do with it or how far he's going to go with it. But it's just like a wanting to like make this real somehow. Yeah. But people have definitely like read that in different ways. Like some people have read it as like he's like thinking about eating it, which is like not exactly the intention there.
Yeah.
I think the whole like the peach from Call Me by Your Name still just looms too large in the world. It's hard to see any scene where someone's thinking about sexuality and then pulls out a peach or a hot dog and not make certain assumptions.
Sometimes a peach is still just a peach.
Yeah, totally.
I just sorry, going back to something you said earlier on, I wanted to circle back and just say, I feel like with a lot of movies that deal with the issue of fatness and living in a fat body, I feel like it's very often either tagged on or made tragic in a way that makes the movie maybe unwieldy or too dependent on that one fact, right? But I'm watching Big Boys, and his fatness is so integrated to his character and the entirety of the movie that I can't picture what the movie would be if that fatness was pulled out, but I can't picture any individual scene that would be changed. Right. So I just wanted to compliment.
I think I know what you say there.
I wanted to compliment that factor of the integration in it being so smooth that it just exists. Right. But changes everything by its existence, which I feel like a lot of movies like this, the fatness is just so tacked on that
it feels
doesn't
very
matter.
authentic.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we've established like it was authentic, but I feel like a lot of times you see a movie, especially if there's been a lot of like, I don't know, like executives or other writers, rewrites, other people like in the process that take your thing that was authentic initially and then maybe turn it into something more palatable.
But what if it was on the moon, Michael?
Right. Totally. Well, and what about like, I think this also gets back to what you were saying about subtext is like, I think a lot of the pressure would be like, how overtly like fat accepting can we be in this movie? Like how can we like have the soapbox moment where somebody is like, you know, just like breaks out into dance and is like, I love my body. You know, I didn't want to do that because I wanted this to feel like a realistic first step towards acceptance.
Well, and I think it's stronger because you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, how much resistance would you have to having a musical scene in the third? I think it might take it into a whole new level.
Kick 10, 10, 10. Kick 10, 10, 10.
I think part of why this movie was so impactful for me was because it does what we talk about so much. Because we talk about a lot of fat movies and like, I feel like there haven't really been anywhere it's like, this is like perfect. Like this is, because there's the thing of like, okay, it's a movie about a fat person, but it's like, that is like, it's not it like the whale. Like the whale, like
this is the anti-whale.
Yeah. And it's like,
this is the matter to the whale's antimatter.
It's a movie about a fat person and it kind of is about them being fat, but it's also not.
Well, that's the thing. It's a movie about a fat person that is not a movie about a fat person.
Yeah.
I have one final question, which is, you know, it's a variation on the what's next for you part of the interview, which is so much of this movie is not about the categories or the boxes it ticks. It's really about how you handled the material. And I think that is so special. And so it makes me wonder, what are the things you look for in a script, or what are the things that interest you in a project? What are the movies that kind of get you and you're like, yeah, I want to do that? Like, what is that for you?
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. I mean, that like I think back to what we were talking about before, it's stuff that feels like it rings really true. Like the filmmakers are interested in being as honest as possible about like showing some aspect of experience that, especially it's like one that you haven't seen on screen before. It's like, wow, they paid really close attention to something. And one of my favorite filmmakers is Richard Linklater.
Oh yeah.
And I just love his generosity, the warmth in his movies, the appreciation for everyday life. Like
it's almost cinema verite in his early stuff.
Totally. Yeah. And there's like such a mellowness. There's a sense of reality, but there's also they tend to be very life affirming and very like people affirming.
Yes.
And that kind of thing really, really inspires me to this day. And it's like, and you know, but there's also I'm really glad that you mentioned that you call the movie magical, because there's also like part of me that loves stuff that has a slightly heightened quality.
Yeah.
And a lot of the credit in that goes to like the score in this movie and then the cinematography.
It is, we didn't mention the score nearly enough. It is a gorgeous score.
The sound design. Yeah. Like this stuff to my mind allows it to like feel like you're rooted in a very realistic experience, but still sort of soar with some of the emotions.
Yes.
And just like get to sort of live in those type of moments where life does feel kind of magical and like it's glowing and wonderful, particularly when you're on like emotional highs. And so like that's other stuff that I also really look for in movies. And well,
I mean, it's when I made my comparison to Dorothy Goes to Oz, you know, you're not in stark raving Technicolor, but you are in the woods. And, you know, you put a good cinematographer in the woods and you're going to get some amazing magic.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that, I don't know, did anybody have any final questions or thoughts?
I'm just curious as a filmmaker, like if I was going to ask you the film school question of like what movies inspired you to make this?
Yeah.
What are some of your call signs here? What are some of those movies you went back to?
So 8th Grade was a huge inspiration. Lady Bird.
I just got that 8th Grade was a film, not the experience of it.
That too. 8th Grade, the Bo Burnham movie. There was a movie called Boyhood for sure.
Okay.
There was there's a movie called The Return, which is this Russian movie from the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
Which is about these two brothers that go on a camping trip with their father who they've never met before, who just comes out of the blue. And there's a character, it's like the way that it captures sort of like younger, older brother dynamics, like the way that it captures feeling like sort of like you're not living up to the masculinity that everyone else, that your family expects of you. It was a huge inspiration. And then like Freaks and Geeks, Pen 15.
Nice.
These shows about like teenagers that just like absolutely go for the jugular. Yeah, those were the main ones.
Did you ever see The Way Back?
Yes,
Steve
actually.
Carell and Tony Collette.
Yes, we did watch that one.
Felt very. I loved the movie. I've only seen it once, but it felt very like tonally like had parody.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I think we got to put this in there because we owe it to you. Where can people see your movie?
Yeah. So the movie is now streaming, finally.
Excellent.
So you can basically go online. You can go to our website, bigboysfilm.com.
Okay.
And you'll see links to where you can watch it on Apple, Google, and YouTube, and also Fandango at home.
Oh, excellent.
And then Amazon will be coming soon.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Do you have a
Thank
date for the
you.
Amazon?
That's TBD.
TBD.
They're being a little
Amazon
slow,
makes
but-
you wait.
Yes.
They tell you when it's ready.
Yes, we have it. We'll let you know.
Yeah, that's essentially. All right. Well, that was our tip where to watch Big Boys if you haven't seen it already. I'm going to rewatch it, actually. It's been a while since I saw it, and I want to rewatch it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Bit time.
Well, since we have a new movie entering the iconic gay movie lexicon, I thought we might revisit some of our classic gay movies from the past.
Yes, revisit.
So normally our bits are normally I throw questions at you, give you a multiple choice. This time we're doing things a little differently.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a quote. I am going to try and pick the most iconic quote I can think of from each of these gay movies or movies that are associated with the gay community, despite how we would rather have things be.
Oh, okay.
There are a few of those.
Then I have a chance.
So bad association.
I feel like that qualifier just gave me a bunch of other movies to pull from. In my head.
Yeah. Well,
Like I just immediately thought of three.
I'm also trying to avoid newer movies because you'd be amazed how like one quote can spoil an entire movie.
True.
So most of these movies are from 2010 or older. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So for example, if I was to give you the quote, I wish I knew how to quit you.
Oh,
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback
All right.
Mountain.
So you're going to let me finish the quote and then you're going to call in. You're going to say,
Oh, I thought that was the
I saw
quote.
the name go up. I saw the hand go up. So the whole idea is I'm going to try and read these off. We're going to try and do this as lightning as we can because I got a bunch.
Okay.
All right. Great. That's just what this country needs. A cock in a frock on a rock.
I have no idea.
Buzz. I'm just going to guess the birdcage.
No. Okay.
No.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Really?
Oh, I've seen that. I don't remember that. Oh no, I do remember that. Sorry.
It's one of the ending lines. All right.
Yeah, there's so many great quotable lines from that. Why didn't you pick a better one?
You mean one you remember?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Some of these I have to try and do a voice to help you out with.
Okay.
I'd have to be pretty stupid to write a book about killing and then kill him the way I described in my book.
Oh my God.
I'd be announcing myself as the killer. I'm not stupid.
It's Basic Instinct, right?
That is correct.
I just
Yeah,
watched that
Basic
for the
Instinct.
first time.
I was thinking Basic Instinct, but I've never seen it before. So confirmed.
All right. Boys, don't you see how sad and pathetic you all are? Always wanting something you can't have?
Oh.
If I catch you looking at another man like that ever again, you'll be watching sports.
Buzz.
The whole weekend.
Buzz.
Trevor.
But I'm a cheerleader.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's like I saw that recently.
I was like, yeah, that sounds really familiar, and I don't know why. Well, that's why we all
All
watched
right,
it.
this one's an obscure one. Try your best. I'm a connoisseur of roads. I've been tasting roads my whole life. This road will never end. It probably goes all the way around the world. Why, you wouldn't even look at a clock unless hours were lines of coke. Dials looked like the signs of gay bars, or time itself was a fair hustler in black leather.
Gladiator.
All right. My Own Private Idaho.
It's been so long since I saw that.
Oh,
I've only seen it once.
I have to do a voice.
it makes me
with
want to
this
see the
one.
movie.
I have to do a voice with this one. This is a tough one, all right? Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Isn't it obvious? I'm trying to seduce you because I want to. I've wanted to ever since I saw you that day on the elevator. I know you don't believe me, but I can prove it to you. You can't believe what you see, but you can believe what you feel. I've been thinking about you all day.
What?
Well,
Why
obviously-
does it sound like Leslie Jordan?
The voice is a clue.
Are you not doing Leslie Jordan?
Is it Gladiator again?
This is one of the, I'll give you a hint. This is one of the only lesbian movies on the list. All right, Bound. Jennifer Tilly.
damn.
That was my best Jennifer Tilly. All right. There will be an orgy beginning in room 340 in exactly 4 minutes. Orgy in 340.
Is this the
4
Ritz?
minutes. The Ritz.
The Ritz.
That is correct.
I've never seen that.
That's
Yeah, you're not missing much.
It's very funny and really offensive.
Okay. I tried singing once back in Berlin. They threw tomatoes. After the show, I had a nice salad.
Oh, I know this. Fuck. It's making me think the Ritz again.
Yeah.
But is that?
It's a musical. West Germany, lounge singer.
It's no. It's a fuck. It's Hedwig.
Hedwig.
There it is.
Correct.
I got one.
Next quote.
I got two.
You do an electric celebration of the dance. You do Fosse, Fosse, Fosse. You do Martha Graham, Martha Graham.
This
Martha
is
Graham.
Birdcage. Yeah.
Birdcage is correct.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, this one's a bit of a long one. Oh, no, you don't, Osgood. I'm going to level with you. We can't get married at all. Well, in the first place, I'm not a natural blonde.
Buzz. You can finish it, but I know what this is.
Okay. The line finishes, well, nobody's perfect.
Some Like It Hot.
That is
one of
correct.
my. This is by the way, my favorite punchline in any movie or show ever. It is perfect.
That is a good part. Right.
It's
That's good.
perfect.
Okay. He was always bad. And in the end, he intended to tell them I killed those girls and that man, as if I could do anything but just sit and stare like one of his stuffed birds.
Buzz? Oh, no.
They know I can't move a finger, and I won't.
Oh,
I'll just sit there and be quiet in case they do.
Buzz? It just flew out of my head.
Buzz?
Like
It's
the
not
bird.
Psycho, is it?
Psycho.
It is Psycho.
The final monologue from Psycho. They'll
okay,
see
got it.
and they'll know and they'll say why she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Yeah. I've only seen that once, I think, but it was like familiar enough.
Right? Next quote. What have you done to Brad? Nothing. Why? What do you think I should?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That is correct. Right. There's one thing to be said about masturbation. You certainly don't have to look your best.
That's a great line.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know.
Boys in the Band.
No, I've never
Right.
seen it.
Last one. I just want to be loved. Is that so wrong?
I know. Torch Song Trilogy.
That is correct.
What is it?
Torch
Is that-
Song
I just want to be
loved.
Is that so wrong?
Harvey
Yes,
Firestein.
Firestein, yes.
Harvey Firestein.
It's because you did the voice. I was
It's
like,
the
it's
voice.
Harvey Firestein, but I don't know what it's from.
That's why he's dressed as Virginia Ham. Yes. So hopefully, Big Boys will be in one of these quote lists someday in the far future.
If you're real lucky. Real lucky.
Trevor, if we
Trevor,
can
are you
find
ready?
this list, we'll put it up for listeners. Where can we tell them about it?
You ready?
Yes, well,
Go.
we're on Instagram and Twitter as at Big Fat Gay Pod. We're on Facebook as the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Leave us 5 stars there. Leave us 5 stars or a review on your preferred podcast platform. See the articles. Oh, wait, no. Support us on Patreon first at patreon.com/BigFatGayPod. See the articles we talked about at www.bigfatgaypod.com, baby.
And go watch Big Boys and then
Yes.
give it a 5-star rating as well.
Yes.
Out of 5, to be clear.
Yeah, we're talking letterbox. On
Huzzah.
Yay. No,
we have to do the-
Dan, where are you
Maybe-
going? Where's your mind?
The earphones might have no.
Maybe you forgot that the podcast isn't over yet. So
I guess that's staying in. Watch out.